Here's your business brief for this Friday, January 8th, 2021. First, U.S. payrolls declined for the first time in nearly 8 months. This according to the Labor Department. Here, take a look at the numbers. Non-farm payrolls fell by 140,000 jobs. This comes in contrast to the 50,000 job gain that was otherwise expected. The unemployment rate sits at 6.7%, and that's about what was expected. The hospitality industry accounted for most of the job losses. There is one silver lining here, though. The level of permanent job losses actually declined in December, this by 348,000, bringing the total to 3.4 million. The Department of Justice has charged Boeing for lying about the 737 MAX crashes that killed 346 people. The aircraft manufacturer will pay $2.5 billion in fines for lying to the FAA. The fine will include a more than $243 million penalty, a roughly $1.8 billion fine to be paid out to the airlines, and $500 million to the families of the victims. President-elect Joe Biden and Vice President-elect Kamala Harris have introduced their nominees to lead the Labor Department, the Commerce Department, and the Small Business Administration. For Secretary of Commerce, Biden has tapped the governor of Rhode Island. For Labor Secretary, Boston Mayor Marty Walsh. For the Small Business Administrator, he chose Isabel Guzman. She comes from the California office of the Small Business Advocate. And Biden's nominee for Deputy Secretary of Commerce is Don Graves. He's currently an executive at Key Bank. The Small Business Administration is set to introduce some new safeguards to prevent fraud as part of the Paycheck Protection program. This according to some new reporting from Reuters. Reportedly, the Small Business Administration will more closely vet initial submissions. They were automatically approving loans before, according to the report. So far, the Department of Justice has charged 80 different parties from stealing nearly $250 million from the program. The Apple App Store has seen a massive surge in sales in 2020. Apple announced that consumers spent $1.8 billion in the App Store during the last week of 2020. Consumers spent $540 million on New Year's Day alone. Additionally, CNBC is reporting that sales topped a whopping $64 billion in 2020. Wayfair is increasing its minimum wage for all of its workers across the United States. Their new minimum wage will be $15 per hour. The move will impact 40% of the company's workers. This comes following minimum wage hikes in 20 different states this past week. And those are your business news headlines for this Friday. I'm Andy Hirschfeld, New York.